Hello everyone. If you use Microsoft Azure as your cloud platform for applications and are looking for a more efficient way to send emails without additional cost, this content might be helpful for you. I'll provide a simple demonstration, but it's important to highlight that this isn't the only way to achieve this. In this video, I will use Microsoft Graph, therefore it's necessary to have an email linked to a Microsoft 365 subscription. If you don't have a Microsoft Office 365 account but are interested in creating one, access the URL I will provide in this video description. On this page, you'll see the button See Plans and Pricing. Click on it. Click in for Business tab. And at the time of work on this video, note that there are annual plans starting at $60 and the monthly plans starting at $7.20. So it's worth checking this page to see which plan best suits your needs. But leaving aside free advertising, let's create our example using Microsoft Graph. With a Microsoft 365 account, access the Azure portal. In the top right corner, click on your user and choose the switch directory. If your email is linked to more than one directory, select the one corresponding to your email domain. Now search for Microsoft Entra ID, and it's necessary to create an app registration. For that, click in the Manage option and choose App Registrations. Click in your registration button and put a name, for example, Test App Mail. Click in Register button. Now let's create the code to send the image using Microsoft Graph. So open Visual Studio and click in Create a new project. Search for Functions. Select Azure Functions and click in the Next button. Put a name for your project, for example, Mail Send Graph, and click the Next button. At the moment, I will use the .NET 8 framework and the HTTP trigger for my function. In authorization level option, I will change it to anonymous for test and clicking in the create button. Will be necessary add two libraries in our project. For that, click with the right button in the project and select manage NuGet package. In the browser tab, search for Azure Identity. Click in it and click in the install button. Then search for Microsoft Graph. Select this and click in the install button. Now let's create a mail service class. Mail service. And let's create some constants. Region constant. Private constant. String tenant ID. Client ID. And the client secret. Private const string to email. And the from email. Will be necessary go back to Azure portal to get the tenant ID and the client ID and the client secret information. In our app registration, you can see the tenant ID and the application ID. And to get the client secret, click in Manage option. Then click in Certificates and Secrets. Next, click in New Client Secret. Put a name, for example, Test Client Secret. Click in the Add button and copy this content from value column. In the to email constant, I will put the destination email. And in the from email constant, I will put my Microsoft 365 account email. Now let's create the send email method. Public async task. Send email async. String subject. String content. And we can send the list of files to attachment. List string file name, string content type, byte content, bytes files. Let's create a credential variable var credentials equals new client secret credential. Send the tenant ID, client ID, and the client secret. Let's create a graph client variable var graph client equals new graph service client, and send the credential variable to parameters. And let's create the attachments variable var attachments equals new list attachment. It's necessary using attachment from Microsoft.graph.models. Now let's populate our attachment variable for each var file in files attachment dot add new file attachment. O data type equals hash Microsoft dot graph dot file attachment. Name equals file dot file name. Content type equals file dot content type. Content byte equals file dot content byte. Let's create our message variable var message equals new message. Subject equals subject. Body equals new item body. Content type equals body type dot html. Content equals content. To recipient equals new list recipient. New recipient email address equals new email address. Address equals to email. And attachment equals attachment. Then let's create the body variable var body equals new Microsoft.graph.users.item.sendMail post request body. Message equals message. And to finish, await graph client dot users from email dot send email dot post async send body with a parameter. Okay, the mail service class is created, but to working it's necessary to go back to Azure Portal and click in the API permission option, click in the add a permission button, click in the Microsoft Graph, then click in the application permission option and search for mail.send. Select mail.send and click in the add permission button, then click in the grant admin consent button, click in the yes button. Okay, go back to the Visual Studio. Now let's create the function to send emails with Microsoft Graph. Rename this to MailFunc and rename function name to send MailFunc. I will remove the get method and I will delete this content. If hack.hashForm content type var form equals await rec dot read form async. Var files equals form dot files dot get files. Send the files with parameter. Var file attachment equals new. I will copy this. Let me change this to S. Now I will populate the file attachment variable. For that, for it, var file in files using var memory stream equals new memory stream await file dot copy to async. Send the memory stream to parameter. Var file bytes equals memory stream dot to array. File attachment dot add file dot file name file dot content type and the file bytes. Let's create a subject variable. String subject equals form subject. String content equals form content. And to finish, await new mail service dot send mail async. Send the subject content and the file attachment. Return new OK object result. Mail sent successfully. And here return new bad request object result sending new with parameter. And here it's necessary add the any letter. The next step is to test our function. I will add one more L letter in the successfully word, and I will to execute our project. Copy this URL generated by our project, and I will use the postman to test our function. And I put this content to subject property, and this content to content property, and I add one file. Let's execute it. Okay, mail sent successfully. In my personal email, we can see the email sent by our function, and here we can check the subject and the content and the file attachment sent. Since we have our project working on the local machine, we'll publish it to the Azure portal. Click in the Create a Resource in the search for Function App. Choose this and click in the Create, then click in the Function App option. In the resource group, click in the Create New or select one that you created. I will put the Funky App Road and click in the OK button. For function app name, I will put my func app 2. In the runtime stack, select .NET. Now click in the Review plus Create button. Then click in the Create button. Now click in the Go to Resource button. In the left menu, click in the Set option. Then click in the Configuration. Click in the General Settings tab. Looking for SCM Basic Auth Publishing Credentials and change it to 1. Then click in the Save button. Click in the Continue button. Go back to the Visual Studio. In the function project, right click and choose the publish option. Select Azure option and click in the next button. Select the Azure Function app for Windows and click in the next button. Then select your subscription name and you can see your ROG created. Select this and select your Azure Function created. Then click in the Finish button. Now click in the Publish button. Click in Yes button. It's necessary to stop the bug to publish. Okay, publish successfully. Go back to Azure Portal. In the Azure function, click in the Overview option and get this URL. Then go back to Postman and change this URL for the Azure function URL. I will change this to by Azure function and here too. Now click in the Send button to test our Azure function. Sorry, it's necessary to maintain the endpoint, so change on here to the Azure function URL, and next it's necessary to have API dash send email func. Click in the send button again. Okay, email sent successfully. In my personal email we can see the sent email, and here we can check the subject and the content and the attachment of our email. For now, that's it. If you like this content, please like this video to help me know what content to post next. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and enable notification. I will be posting new content soon. Thank you and see you in the next video.